house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that could teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black on firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Constance Carter, and this is the Grow Your Money podcast, where we talk about how to grow your money and not blow your money, because if you blow your money, it ain't a damn thing funny. What's happening? Happy Thursday to everybody. You guys come on in, my friends, because we have a lot to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about the truth about lung cancer with Dr. Jones, and this is so important. I know, if you are alive anywhere in the world, you've lost somebody to some kind of cancer. Maybe it's pancreatic cancer, maybe it's breast cancer, maybe it's lung cancer, maybe it's stomach cancer, maybe it's bowel cancer. Maybe it's skin cancer. There's so many different ways and so many different cancers that pop up. It's almost like, and I'll ask Dr. Jones, like, not if we gonna get it, but when we gonna get it, because it's just so prevalent out there and it's based upon so many things. But we want to have a conversation. Last week, we talked about pancreatic cancer, and then we talked about colon cancer. This week, we're going to be talking about lung cancer. I lost my father-in-law to lung cancer several years ago, and I know, the devastation. Cancer is just an ugly, ugly disease, and it's not anything that you want to see anybody suffer from, any type of cancer. And so we want to have a conversation around that. What can you do? What does it look like? How does it start? And what you can do to prevent it. But before we do that, listen, this is a dialogue and a monologue. And so I love for the people to talk back to me and talk black to me. What does that mean? That means I need you to come in here. I need you to tell me where you're watching from, because I know that we have people that watch from all over the world. So if you can tell people where you're watching from, who's on here, who we talking to, we have our regular folks on here every day. And so where are you watching from? So put it in the comments where you're watching from, because we have people that watch from across the pond. You might be in California. You might be in New York. You might be in Sacramento or Dallas or Chicago or over in Florida where Dr. Jones is. So put that in the comments. That's the first thing I want you to do, okay? So this is a call and response. I see you, Miss Deborah from the DMV. Thank you for putting that in the comments. The second thing I want you to do is if you're new here, let us know this is your first time watching, okay? And then Tits, I don't know where Tits is. So Tits, is that a place? Is that a location? I don't know. The second thing is, if you are a Black-owned business, if you have a Black-owned business or you know a Black-owned business, please put it in the comments. The reason why is because we want to make sure that we're supporting Black-owned businesses with everything that's going on in the country. America is actually on fire. It's a lot of shit going on, y'all. It's craziness going on in these United States of America. And so I don't know if you know that in this country, Asians, do you know Asian people? Anybody know any Asian people? Asians have the lowest voter turnout, but yet they have the highest, that they're most insulated when policy happens. Why is that? Because they practice collective economics. And so for Black people, when I come here, I do this for us. I do this so that we can have a platform where we can engage on things that matter for our wealth, for our families, for our legacies. But Black folks, we are the most affected. And, we're resilient. Somebody said, so I saw a reel that somebody said, it was a Mexican lady. She said, I'm trying to figure out, like, what is it about Black people that, it was so crazy. She said, what is it about Black people that, why do they do so much to Black people? Why do they, all the things that they've done, like, is there a secret about Black people that maybe we just don't know about? Is there a secret? Like, and she was really serious. She was really curious. Like, is there something? Because it doesn't make any sense the way this world targets Black people in the way that they do. And I know why it is. It's because we're resilient. It's because they know we're powerful. It's because we are God's chosen people. And that's the reason why they come after us with the visceral that they do. And they've been successful at dividing us. They've been successful as using us as guinea pigs and experiments. And so now that I think that there's a great awakening happening amongst our people, we don't believe the bullshit. We thought that they had our best interest at heart after civil rights happened, and they don't. And so what this administration and what 2025, Project 2025 and everything else has made a lot of us realize is that ain't nobody coming to save us Black people. We got to save ourselves. So the reason why I always want to make sure in this segment that I shout out Black owned businesses is because it's imperative to keep our communities alive that we support each other. There was an article in Forbes magazine that said by the year 2053, Black median wealth was going to be a zero. I don't believe that. They done fucked around and gave us internet. They done fucked around and gave us AI, and we have each other. So we have to start utilizing our resources, coming together, building our businesses, and then supporting our businesses. Less than 3% of businesses in Black communities are Black-owned businesses. So if you go into a Black neighborhood or Black community, you're not going to see Black ownership in the way that you see other people taking our businesses. You're going to see Asians, Chinese stores. You're going to see nail salons. You're going to see hair places. You're going to see all those. Those are owned by Asians. You're going to see maybe Jewish people that have maybe check cash in places. You're going to see that. You're not going to see Black people owning that. You're going to see Mexican restaurants. You're going to see white-owned businesses. You're going to see Arabs with gas stations, but you're not going to see Black-owned businesses. And if you go to any of those communities, you're not going to see Black businesses there either. So we got to take our communities back. We got to be Black first. We have to think Black first. We got to support Black first. But first, we got to have Black businesses to do it. Because we have over $2 trillion of spending power. Black people, we do. We have over $2 trillion of spending power, and less than 2% is spent with Black businesses. Well, the reason why is because we don't have a whole lot of Black businesses to spend with. So we just got to do better with how we're spending our money and be intentional about spending with Black people. That is the thing. That is my TED Talk. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Thank you. Have a good night. Goodbye. But if you have a Black-owned business, please put it in the chat because we want to support you. Not only do we want to know that you have a Black-owned business, we want to celebrate you. That's great. But we also want to do business with you. So put your Black business, or if you know a Black business, put it in the chat. How do we get in contact with you? How do we support you? How do we buy from you? Okay. And so that's that. And then the other thing is, for those of you who want to start businesses and you want to start investing and you want to start building your multiple revenue streams, but you simply don't know how, you have a problem. It's a must. Even if you if you go to work every day, everybody's not meant to be a business owner. I get that. Listen, I understand. You should still have multiple revenue streams because the Bible says that you should have 7. And they said no, 8 revenue streams because we never know when a disaster is going to strike. Now, 2020, what happened? Disaster strucketh. The disaster was COVID-19. We was in that junk for 2 years strong. And a lot of people lost their jobs. Unemployment was at an all-time high. Now it's higher now. Now we see what's happening. And we are the ones that are getting laid off in record numbers, Black people. So we can't be dependent on them. We got to stop begging them for a seat at the table. We got to start creating our own. So as Black people, owning Black businesses, we got to make sure that we're intentional about hiring people who look like us too, because they are intentional about hiring people that look like them. This whole idea of meritocracy is a joke and it's a lie. They are comfortable with hiring people, whether they have the skill set or not, who look like them. When I was 18, 19, I worked at Hewlett-Packard, HP. And I was a security guard. I was 18. I was a security guard at HP, and I worked with this guy, this blonde hair, blue-eyed guy. He was letting people in. He had his badge. He was letting people in the office. And I remember he was just a security guard. And maybe about a year later, I came back to HP as I was on this college work program. It was it's called the WEEP program. It's for work experience college, whatever. So came back to work there again. Same dude. I was going in the office. I had seen him. This time he had on a nice button-up shirt and some slacks. I was like, oh, okay. So you work here full time now? He was like, yeah. I said, well, what do you do? He said, I'm an engineer. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So you were going to school to be an engineer this time? He said, no. He said, somebody came up to me and asked me if I wanted to be an engineer. And I said, okay. You didn't go to school for engineering. You had no skill set. The extent of your skill set was you at the front desk letting people in with their badges. And now you are a whole ass engineer. That kind of thing never happens to Black people. Okay. So instead of them hiring somebody who's qualified that may have had a degree or anything else, they hire somebody that look like them to come in to be an engineer. And these types of opportunities happen all the time in the corporate space. That's why I'm so adamant about us building our own and stop begging for other people to give us a seat at the table. It's high time for us they're not coming to save us. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about you Black people. Nobody cares. So it's time for us to start caring about ourselves. build our own businesses. But that's why I have the Grow Your Money podcast, where I want to talk about things that affect us as a community, but I also want to provide solutions. And that's why I do the Grow Your Money Club, is because it's a way for you to earn 7 revenue streams, because like the Bible says, you never know when a disaster is going to strike the land. And it's imperative that we are equipped when it does. So if you don't know about the Grow Your Money Club, let me show you what it is that we do inside the Grow Your Money Club. While everybody else is out here blowing their money, you about to be growing your money. How? Inside the Grow Your Money Club, this is your one-stop wealth building training hub designed to help you build, grow, invest, and diversify your income. You have the credit bundle, which is going to help you to increase your credit IQ with business credit, personal credit, with the credit repair masterclass. And then you have the real estate bundle. This is where we're going to show you how to invest in tax deeds, land banks, how to buy a house separately from your spouse, the Living Trust ebook, and from Campus Cash Flows, showing your children how to become real estate investors. In the investor bundle, you're going to learn how to invest using Robinhood, the investor success formula, and the wealth map 6-phase blueprint that shows you how to build, grow, and invest your money. And finally, the business builder bundle. This is where we show you how to establish your entity and build business credit, how to obtain government contracts, how to create jaw-dropping video content, how to write and publish your best-selling book, and even how to bring your idea to life. You can purchase each training a la carte, get the bundle that fits your goals, or unlock the 12-month roadmap, which is your full access pass to every single training inside the Grow Your Money Club. While they're spending, you stacking. While they're watching, you winning. Join the Grow Your Money Club today. So if you are looking to expand your knowledge base so that you can expand your wealth base, I try to offer solutions. So also every Tuesday, I do a masterclass, a Grow Your Money masterclass every Tuesday at 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific, and this is free. So for those of you who are able to get on, it's absolutely free. And then it goes inside the Grow Your Money Club and you have to pay for it. So if you go to gymmasterclass.com, next week, I'm going to talk about how to buy a home with little to no money down. My upcoming trainings are going to be, I'm going to do a training about living trust, how to prepare your living trust. I'm going to do a training about, what are my other trainings? Shit, I forgot. But a bunch of them are coming up. So go to gymmasterclass.com if you want to sign up for the one next week about how to, now I want to remember what the classes were. Real estate REITs, real estate investment trust. So for the next several weeks, we have the living trust coming up. We have REITs, real estate investment trust, and we have how to start your LLC and build your business credit. So that's what's coming up over the next several weeks. And I'll be doing these every week for free. If you sign up, you get in for free live, and then they will be for sale. You will not be able to get them free after the free online training. So it'll be free for people who sign up. And if you sign up, you get in free. And then if you don't show up, you're not getting access to the replay. If you want to get the information, then you'll have to join the Grow Your Money Club and pay for the classes. Either do the 12 months, or you could do the a la carte and purchase the trainings individually. But I'm doing this as my give back. Again, I always just try to offer a solution to the problems out there. So that's what it is. So that's what the Grow Your Money Club is. And that's why I come here to just give you some nuggets, to give you some gems in the gym. Raymond, what's up, Raymond? You said you bought a house during COVID, duplex. Congratulations, sir. You have tenants now, and it's been good. City wants to do an inspection. What should I expect? Only thing I don't know what city that you live in, but the only thing typically is they just want to know is everything's up to code. You know, you have all of your electrical. There's nothing, no exposed wiring. There's no health and safety issues. No big deal. They're literally in and out in 5 minutes. So if it's a tenant inspection, just see that you have tenants in there. That's what it is. So those are no big deal. All right. All right. So listen, I want to, okay, good. Go to Grow Your Money. No, Gym Masterclass. Go to Gym. If you want to join, go to Gym Masterclass. The training next week is at gymmasterclass.com. If you want to join the training for free, which is live next Tuesday at 12, you go to gymmasterclass.com. So they'll be every Tuesday. Because we're holiday season, we're probably going to do one more this month, and then we'll probably just do 2 in the month of December because of the holidays. But then in January, you'll see these trainings every Tuesday where I'll be training you on something that's going to be beneficial to you. And you're going to get it absolutely free. The last one was fire. I got a lot of great feedback. The one we did earlier this week was absolute fire. But Listen, y'all, I want to get to the topic at hand about lung cancer because I don't know in the chat, how many people do you know have died from cancer? Let's just say cancer. Just by the showing of your hands, just say me. And everybody probably should put in the chat me because everybody's lost somebody to cancer. So, um, but then more specifically, has anybody lost anyone to lung cancer? I definitely have lost, like I said in the beginning, my father-in-law to lung cancer, and it's something that's really devastating. We talk about money all the time, but we need to talk about something that's worth more than money, and that's your life. Lung cancer is really one of those silent killers. It doesn't always show symptoms until it's too late. So whether you smoke or not, it's something that we all need to understand because prevention is power. And that's what we need to be vigilant about is prevention. So I want to bring on here our resident professional, Dr. Jones. Ah, what's up, Doctor? Wait a minute. I got whole sound effects. Let me. All right. Dr. Jones. So if anybody wants to join us live, y'all want to come on here. Oh, you know what? That stream is, I can't do that stream. So Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones, thank you. Let's talk about lung cancer because it's something that is a silent killer. Does it disproportionately affect Black people over everybody else? How do we rank when it comes to lung cancer?
So first of all, welcome everyone into the Grow Your Money podcast for a lung cancer talk, because lung cancer is the most common cancer death in the United States. More people die from lung cancer than breast, colon, and pancreas together.
Really?
Here. So lung cancer is very deadly. So as you know, with most of our cancers, they affect us more proportionately because of we're not diagnosed. But certain types of lung cancers that are more aggressive, it's kind of like pancreas cancer. By the time you figure it out that they have it, it has metastasized, which means it has moved out of the lungs into other parts of the body.
You know, Dr. Jones, though, I see like people like my father-in-law, he had this really bad cough for a really long time. Isn't that like a symptom? Like if
That
you're a
is
smoker and you have this bad cough, like you as soon as that cough hits, you kind of try to check on it, right?
right, right. So some of the risks are number one is being a smoker. We have a picture. That's how your lungs look when you smoke
What
with cancer. I mean, when
are
you
those
smoke,
black things?
like that's the smoker's lung. So you see how it scars over and it has all the carbon in it. So your lungs are there to give you oxygen to your blood to take out to the rest of the body. So if it's all clogged up, you see, that's why it's hard to breathe. And then you can go to the picture of the smoker, the cigar smoker.
Who? The cigar. Now, why would you want to do something like that?
So smoking is definitely been linked to lung cancer. We have
Okay.
all type of studies that show that. And parents who smoke,
So
it has
even cigar smoke, when you don't even inhale cigar
oh,
smoke?
you always inhale because there's something called secondhand smoke where you actually can have, for me, both my parents smoke and I have end lung disease from it because they were chain smokers. So secondhand smoke is just as important.
But see, hold on really quick, because this girl, she's pretty cute, and that's like a pretty sexy picture of a cute Black chick smoking a cigar. So you mean to tell me if a cute Black girl is smoking cigars, she is at risk?
Yes, for lung cancer, and her lungs gonna look like the picture you showed before.
This looks
Even
like a
vape,
nice blueberry blueberry muffin.
yes, but that's not good when you're trying to breathe through that.
Yeah. Right.
And so smoking is like the number one risk. There are multiple studies showing that smoking leads to lung cancer.
Mm,
And but the problem is in America with capitalism, you know, anything else that causes as much cancer as cigarettes would have been taken off the market.
interesting.
But you have your lobbyists, they're making tobacco farmers, they're making big bucks.
Mm,
And so they're keeping it there. So I
mm,
guess they came up and said, oh, well, we'll just put it on the packet.
mm, mm. So so let me just go to the statistics because I looked at some statistics. It said 13%, where was it? It said Black women, wait, no, go back. Black individuals with lung cancer are 13% less likely to be diagnosed at an early stage compared to white individuals. Black individuals are 19% less likely to receive surgical treatment for lung cancer and 11% more likely to receive no treatment at all compared to white individuals. I need to know why. And then among Black men, the incidence rate for lung and bronchus cancers declined from about 138 per 100,000 in 95 to 65. Amongst Black women, the incidence rate for lung and bronchus cancer held at about 51 per 100,000. For cancer more broadly, Black men's most common cause of cancer death is lung cancer. And for Black women is also lung cancer. The median age for lung cancer diagnosis for African Americans is about 59 years old compared to white people, which is about 64 years old.
Exactly. Because lung cancer is usually a disease of a cancer of 65 and older, but it
Okay.
occurs to us earlier. And so some of the issues with maybe why is because, so number one is smoking. Number two is toxins in your environment. So that means like if you have a job where radon gas, asbestos, even gas from pumping gas through your car, if you're smoking,
Mm-hmm.
if you're sitting there inhaling it, they
Mm-hmm.
have found over periods of time, these people come up with lung cancer.
Mm. Somebody said, what about weed though?
It's all the same.
Really?
Your lungs should not have chemicals going into them. The lungs are strictly for breathing oxygen in, and it takes the oxygen and attaches it to your blood. That goes and give the rest of your blood oxygen,
Mm-hmm.
the rest of your organs oxygen. So when you breathe in chemicals, it affects the lungs. So if you can show the picture of a normal chest x-ray of your lungs, this is how your lungs are supposed to look. They're supposed to be clear. The black is showing us that's the air that is coming in, is transfusing with everything, and you're getting it in and you blowing it back out. Now, if you show the one of a smoker's lung, well, we'll say it's a vapor's, no, that's the cancer. The vape, that's how your lungs look from vaping, and can look the same way with marijuana, because a lot of marijuana is mixed with different chemicals, and so it can affect your lungs too. And we call that popcorn lungs, which means you develop a cough, you can't breathe, you're short of breath, and eventually it can turn into COPD, which is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. And that's when you see the old people that are bunched over
Yeah.
and they can't talk and they can't walk far because their lungs are all there. The amount of space that you usually would have to exchange oxygen has now decreased. So if you look in the bottom, how it's all white, it's whited out. So that's area that you cannot get oxygen
Is that
from.
mucus? What is that?
Well, it is mucus and stuff, but you can't get oxygen through mucus because it's socked in. Think
Can
about
you
when your nose is stopped up and plugged up. You can't breathe, you have to breathe through your mouth. So it's the same thing in your lungs. If you got all that mucus and stuff.
can
Yeah.
you get rid of COPD?
Oh no, once you get it, it's bad.
Okay.
Also, but you can, if you stop smoking, they've shown that you can revert, because someone asked the question, the longer you stop smoking, you can reverse your lungs.
Right.
You may not go back to normal, but you can go back to better than what you are.
Yeah.
And it usually takes like 15 years or more if you stay away.
My mom was a smoker when I was growing up, and about 25 years ago, 26, maybe 26, 27 years ago, my aunt got breast cancer. And the moment my aunt got breast cancer, my mom quit cold turkey. Boom, she stopped.
Yes.
Um, and my aunt still smokes to this day, which is crazy. But I'm hopeful because I remember when she was young, we always used to be like, Mom, are you gonna stop smoking? You know it's gonna be like, and all of my cousins, all their moms smoke because that was kind of the thing to do in the 70s, right? And
Mhm.
it was crazy because when I went to one of my aunt's funerals, all my cousins was there, and there was only two of us that didn't smoke cigarettes, and I'm like, we used to cry about our mama smoking cigarettes, and y'all fools out here smoking. Everybody smoking cigarettes now. Like, why would you start doing something that you know causes cancer, like cigarettes? But I guess same thing. I guess when you talk about me, and I do smoke cigars sparingly. I don't smoke it very often, and it's more of a social thing sometimes that I'll do. I mean, it might be, a couple times a year, whatever. But I guess it will be the same thing. I mean, doing this, making a decision to do something that is detrimental to your health is not good one way or the other. But I just think to pick up a habit that is cancerous and deadly is just crazy.
Well, it's like any habit people pick up.
Yeah,
It's a lack of thought.
right.
It's more about pleasure
Yeah,
and how you appear.
right.
Because if you notice the smoking age, all the commercials back like 50s, 60s, 70s, all the commercials were like women had this, and it was sexy to smoke.
Hmm.
Then the studies came out that all your parents are dying of lung cancer now, and everybody's on oxygen and walking around with tanks, and you
Hmm.
can't travel anymore or you travel with your tank and they can't breathe, can't have sex. You
Hmm.
can't,
Can't
you
have
can't,
sex. What? Whoa. I'm
I
scared.
mean, if you can't breathe, you can't have sex.
So Black Panther's over here pleading his damn case. Black Panther's like, no, but cigars aren't habitual. We don't inhale cigars. We're not like, he is really like, I'm about to fire up a cigar right now. What do you mean?
Let's talk about a lot of cigar smokers say the same thing. You don't inhale
Not
cigars.
inhaling it.
The smoke goes into the air that you breathe. So you don't inhale and then hold your breath till the smoke gets out of the air.
Yeah.
The smoke gets, in fact, the people that are around you are being affected with cigar smoke
I tell you
because
what,
that's secondhand smoke.
there's a cigar bar that I've been to in out here, not too far from me. And that cigar bar, like I had to stop going because the ventilation is horrible. And every time I go, I mean, it's some cutie pies up in there. But every time I go, the next day, of course, you smell like smoke. Your breath is disgusting. Your
Your
tongue is
clothes
nasty.
smell,
Your
your
clothes
hair.
smell. Your hair smells. But there's so much phlegm too. I have all this phlegm the next day. What is that phlegm coming from?
From the irritants in the smoke. So it gets it because your lungs don't want the smoke and the chemicals in it. So the
Mm.
body produces these cells to try to create the mucus to get that out. And that's why you coughing up and you feel congested because your body's trying to take care of it. Like, you keep putting this in me, I'm trying to help you get it out. And then people go take Mucinex. Well, not Mucinex. They go take the ones that keep you from coughing, the
Mhm.
antitussives,
Mhm.
and that keeps it in there because you really do need to keep coughing out.
So when we talk about weed though, because you said, weed is just as bad as cigarettes and everybody, so that there's this myth that weed is good for you. We've all heard that weed is good for you. Weed is good for your health and it has all of these great healing properties. So it's really not true.
Actually, there are some major studies that are coming out now about weed. How actually, number one, the weed that a lot of people buy is not pure weed. It has a lot of chemicals in it. I'm sure if you go in Jamaica up in the hills, that's probably the purest weed you get, but most people they are cutting it with all type of stuff and chemicals to prepare it to sell for profit. And so that all is being smoked into your lungs are not meant to smoke stuff into them.
So the weed that you get from Jamaica, I'm focused on that. The weed that you get from Jamaica is not good for is not bad for you. Like if you still
Well,
smoke.
but you shouldn't be smoking, period, into your lungs. Your lungs are not meant to take smoke in, number one.
Okay.
They're
Okay.
meant to take oxygen in. But
But
if you're looking at the fact that there may not be as much chemicals in the Jamaican weed.
so what? But the
I
CBD
don't know, but
properties,
it depends on how they prepare it and how they,
the CBD properties are good. Like Deborah said, weed should be drank as a tea or eaten. So the CBD properties are good, but it's just the smoking it is bad. Is that true or false?
for your lungs. Okay. So the studies that have come out about weed shows that uh, people who take the marijuana and all of the CBDs, it actually increases your risk of cardiovascular diseases and strokes. Those are the
Really?
new studies, yeah. So it is not the benign, good for all, because now they're starting to get more studies out because people are now, what do we say? We're intaking weed more often because it's legal in a lot of places, and
Hmm.
so there are more studies starting to be done, and they're finding out that really, do the good things outweigh the bad things, or are
Yeah.
they more like this? But they are finding out a lot of people who, like, for instance, men have gynecomastia. They grow breasts. That's how you can tell a guy smokes a lot of weed over a period of time, because it interrupts with hormones, with their testosterone.
So
And so
so if
these
their
that's
testosterone,
come out.
so if they're if it affects their testosterone, do they have erectile dysfunctional issues?
Eventually, yeah.
Brothers,
Eventually,
let's see about that. So
yeah.
now,
So, but
so I have a dispensary. I own a dispensary. I'm one of the owners of a dispensary in Stockton, California. So if you are in or around Stockton, California, go to Zen Garden in Stockton on Thornton Road. There's all types of things that you can get though at the dispensary. You might not necessarily get no weed smoke, but if you're a weed smoker, you may as well get it from my dispensary as opposed to getting it from the streets. However, there are other things like with the CBD that, like, rubs, things that ointments and things like that are fine, right?
well, it depends on what's in it, because all ointments aren't created equal.
Hmm.
It depends on the amount. All of it depends on what they put in it, because a lot of people don't care. A lot of people are trying to make money, and
Right,
so it's like all drugs. They're putting PCP in with some of the weeds and
right.
all of that. And
Okay.
so, but it's the additives that are, like someone said there, it's the carcinogens that are being added. And
Hmm.
so that's why you just have to be, very, very, very careful. I mean, because it's like someone said, it's nothing like back in the day.
Right.
Everybody's out for $1 and they're trying to make more. But one good point they have found in studies showing that parents who smoke, not just weed, but who smoke cigarettes, put their kids at a higher incident of getting asthma, of having SIDS, which is sudden death, infant death syndrome, where your kids die, you wake up in the middle and your kid is dead.
Yeah.
And so there are studies that showing that, and saying parents should not be smoking with their kids in the house.
Yeah.
So if you
Boy, we so blessed that we made it.
yeah, you have, but it was probably pure tobacco.
Mm,
And so the thing is, we're asking if the parents still need to smoke, then you need to go outside.
right.
But really, does that matter? Because I had two parents that were chain smokers. When they came back in, they smell like smoke.
Right.
And
Right.
so secondhand smoke does increase your risk of lung cancer. So let's go back to some of the signs and symptoms of lung cancer that people need to be aware of. If you have a persistent cough that is not like a normal, just an allergy cough, but it stays like greater than 8 weeks, you need to get that checked out. If you are coughing up blood, no amount of blood coughed up is normal.
Mm,
You need to go to your doctor and have that checked out.
mm.
If you're suddenly losing weight, that's unexplained. You need to check that out. If you have frequent chest infections, short of breath, chest pain, stop putting it on the side and go check that out. because there's a slide about the types of cancer.
I
The type
can't. I
of lung.
can't do that. I can't do the slide on here.
Okay, you can't for that one.
No, it has to be a JPEG.
Okay, so the other one is the picture of the lung with cancer. And that's how your lung with the cancer that
Yeah, I
grows.
remember my father-in-law lung looked like that.
Right. And so that is no longer the black lung tissue that you can get the air. It actually just socks in your lung, and there is no more room for the exchange of oxygen. And so that's why, that's a horrible death, being suffocated. And so the two major types of lung cancer are the non-small cell, which is a slower type, and the small cell, which is very aggressive. That's the one we always find too late, and it has moved outside the lung, it has metastasized, and they usually die, within a couple of months. People that do survive it, their 5-year survival rate is very low, like 1 in 10. So it's a very serious disease.
It is. So my cousin, one of my favorite cousins, we were 39 years old. And my cousin called me one day and she texted me. She's like, Niecy, call me. And then I didn't get a chance to call her. So then she texted me. She said, hey, I got lung cancer. They gave me 2 years to live. And I was like, I just looked at the phone. She was like, then she said, that's some pretty fucked up shit to write on a text, right? I was like, yeah, leave it to Talani. So anyway, she got sick very fast. She had surgery. She got sick very fast. Fast forward, I had another. So she had moved to Arizona. We grew up together. She moved to Arizona, and my other cousin moved to Arizona. So I told my other cousin, I said, "Hey, when Lonnie gets sick, let me know because I'll be on this first thing smoking." So she calls me one day. She was like, "Hey, she's in the hospital. I think you need to come out here." So I said, "Okay." So I book a flight. I call her phone, and I'm thinking, it's her daughter answer the phone. And I'm like, "Hey, I'm on my way out. Tell your mom." And she's like, "No, it's me." And so I was like, "Oh, girl, I'm coming to see you." And so she was like, "Okay." So she was so excited. She was in the hospital. She was so excited to see me. She was like, "Release me. My cousin coming down there. And, I want to spend time with her." So I go down there and it's just me and her. And she shows me, she had, I guess these little nodules on her back. And when
Okay.
she opened it up, it spread, but it was from lung cancer somehow. I don't know about the nodules on her back. She showed them to me, and they look like cow testicles or something. They were really big. So we're talking, and then she tells me that they had given her 2 months. So it's just me and her. They given her 2 months, and so I knew like probably that was going to be the last conversation that I had with her, and we. So we were just talking, and so I was like, okay, tomorrow let's do something. I'm cook something for you. I'm cook you guys a meal, whatever. And so ended up, I like at the time I didn't cook because my ex was the cook. I didn't do a whole lot of cooking, so I was really nervous. I cooked her, whatever she wanted, and it was like some fried chicken, mashed potatoes, salad. It was really good. It was great. I seasoned it perfect and everything.
Great.
So her and I and my other cousin, I'm going to show you the picture. We got up, we took a picture, and about 5 minutes after we took a picture, she dies right there in mid conversation. The three of us.
She was waiting for you all.
The crazy thing is her brother was there, her father was there, and her kids were moving back in the house that day, right? And it was all of the people that she really, really loved that was in the house. Her brother had went to jail. Her brother came down there. This was on Friday. He came down there. He went to jail. And then we're like, okay, he ain't coming home till Monday because, you go to jail on Friday. You stay in the whole weekend. Somehow he got out of jail. Like, what? How you get out of jail? So maybe about 20 minutes after he gets there from jail, she passes out. She dies. And it was, like I said, it was all the people that she loved the most that were in the room with her. But I just remember going to her funeral because she was a smoker and leaving the funeral and all her friends was outside smoking. And I'm just like, My cousin just died of lung cancer, and all you motherfuckers out here smoking. It just didn't make any sense to me. But she was only 39. We were only 39 years old when that happened. It was 10
Wow.
years ago to this day. Just 10 years ago, September.
Wow.
And she ended up dying. And because she just had really horrible insurance, they opened her up. And whatever it was, when they opened her up,
It's closed the back. Yeah.
like that. And then she was gone.
Yeah. It's awful cancer. And that's why screening is so important. If you are a smoker, if you have parents who smoked a lot, secondhand smoke, you really need, we screen from 50 to 80. It's called a low dose CT scan of your chest, and you need to have one yearly. And that way, if they can look at the little changes in the nodules and make sure, may buy you some years.
Yeah. Let me show you the picture of the three of us. This is right before she passed away, like right before we sit. So I was like, hey, because we did this picture when we were in high school, the three of us. And so we're like, hey, let's recreate the picture when we was in high school. Because we was at the Ebony Ball. And this is the three of us, and she's in the middle. I had bought her a wig. I was doing eyebrows at the time. I thought I was an eyebrow expert. So I was trying to pluck her eyebrows. I was trying to make her, feel good, because she couldn't walk. She couldn't do anything. And she had only just been diagnosed 4 or 5 months before this. She had COPD, which is I found out later, because the smoking. But this was us. We sat down right there. About 15, 20 minutes later, we're talking to her. She's in the middle, and she just passes out. And my cousin catches her because she's seizing, and my ass took off running. I was like, I don't know what to do. I was when I called 911, but I took off because I was like, what is going on around here? I took off and I ran the door. I was like, what's going on? And then, yeah. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. In any case,
someone, let me answer, I think it's Bankroll Beauty Boss. She said that she had a CT because her mom died of lung cancer, and they noticed that she had lung nodules. I suggest you stay up on that. You continue to keep your yearly screenings. If they're talking about, biopsy them, but you pay attention and note when you get your CT scan, it'll say how big the nodules are, like 1 centimeter, 1 millimeter. You keep that up so that when you have your next one, you'll know if it is growing. And then you could
they're not necessarily, I'm sorry, they're not necessarily cancerous, are they? Could they be?
They're not necessarily cancerous, but the fact that, she has it, her mom had lung cancer, and if her mom was a smoker, she has secondhand smoke exposure. So that's like just being exposed to radon. The people who work in the coal mines, they get exposed to, they have black lung.
Look at this. She said the sad thing is I read the report. The doctor didn't tell me. This is why what Dr. Jones does is so important, because this is so common. The doctor didn't tell you that you had these nodules, didn't think enough for them to tell you. So one of the things that Dr. Jones does is if you've had any type of test done, you could sit down with her and she will do a consultation and go through it with you line by line to tell you every single thing. And a lot of times what she's telling you is more than what that physician is telling you. And this is a common practice. Wow.
Yes. So make sure you pay attention to how large they are and you monitor it and you push to get it every year.
Yeah.
To watch nodules. And then if you develop coughing or you're getting more infections than normal, any coughing up blood, fatigue, short of breath, you be on it, and you can always reach out to me because I do provide a second opinion to help you know what are your choices and what's the next step.
Wow. So somebody asked about secondhand smoke, and we didn't think. You touched on a little bit, and our parents smoke. It's like I said, it's a wonder that we still around here living good, because our parents just was reckless. I smell like smoke on my jackets and stuff. So how bad is secondhand smoke?
So secondhand smoke increases your risk of lung cancer more so than a person who's never smoked. So
Okay.
it is important that, don't be around people who are smoking a lot of smoke. Ask them to go outside, you know. If it's your parents, what could you do? Like we
Yeah.
couldn't do anything about our parents.
Right.
But
Right.
it will increase your risk of like asthma, COPD when you get older, reactive airway disease, bronchitis. If you're wondering why you get bronchitis every year, boom.
So Dominic said he hadn't had a test. They just told him he has COPD.
Well, they know that from your chest x-ray or how you're breathing, or when you go to the doctor, they put a little thing on your finger and they check your oxygenation.
Mm.
Your normal oxygenation should be anywhere from, according to your age, but the average age like 95 and above. If it's lower than that, that means you're not perfusing well, which means you're not getting oxygen in good. And so if you're coughing, if you're a smoker, you have chronic bronchitis, you have asthma, those are also forms of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease.
So he said that he didn't get no test, but they didn't tell him either. So who told you? Who told you you got COPD?
How did you know he has it?
You had no test.
Did you read it on his medical records?
Okay, maybe okay.
Because he may have read, like she read, the pulmonary nodules and nobody told her.
Black Panther is still trying to compromise on smoking cigars. He's like, I can't smoke cigars, sweetheart.
Well, that's up to you. You can, you're an adult. You can smoke whatever you
He said
want
he
to.
does 5 big robust cigars a month.
We're here presenting the information.
He said you asked for what kind of CT scan?
Low dose chest CT scan.
Low dose chest CT scan.
Right.
And then somebody said, do you think, and I already know the answers to this, but I'll let you answer. Do herbs and diet help?
Well, the only thing, is, lung cancer is a lifestyle. It's caused by lifestyle. Okay. So there are no herbs you can take. Once you get lung cancer, it is what it is. Where the herbs help is they have done studies saying people who live a vegan lifestyle or mostly plant-based in a small amount of meat are healthier and have a less risk of cancer, of all cancers. So from that point of view, because it decreases your inflammation, which feeds cancer. And when you tend to go more vegetables and fruits, and even if you keep meat, it cuts down the sugars. And so the reduction of sugar in your diet, sugar is a catalyst for cancer.
Yep. He says the only thing he does are fun. You got to find another. Try cycling. Go cycling, Black Panther. Do something that's healthy for fun. They got cycling clubs. I don't know where you live in DC. They got black cycling clubs. You could be fat, skinny, tall, short. Everybody likes to go cycling. That's a fun thing to do, and it's social as well. He said. So he already said sugar is the enemy. Bankroll Beauty said it's crazy because now hospitals have these patient portals and we find out by reading them. I remember when I was like, I got herpes, and I was like, why did it tell me? But if you've ever had a cold sore,
right,
right? So, but nobody told me because I saw it in the portal. But I had, and then I went back and looked at the previous one. I was like, I've been had herpes. Why they? But once you ever had a cold sore, now that stays in your system forever, right?
It stays in your spine.
Yeah, I had to go Google it because I was like, the hell? But let's shift gears because I want to talk about what's going on with this administration and our health insurance. Because I think there's so many myths. There's so many things.
Can I answer Deborah?
Absolutely.
Yeah, she asked, does the low dose CT scan, can your primary care doctor order it? Yes, they can. You do not have to go to a pulmonologist to do that.
And he said the doctor just told me one day, just casually, hey, you got
COPD.
It's kind of major. So Dr. Jones, let's talk about this health insurance and how it's affecting everyday Americans, because this whole government shutdown was because of, one of the things that they're saying is they're going to take away health care for millions of Americans. Can you just explain a little bit about what that's about and how that's going to affect us?
Okay. So the real deal is this. Back when Obama came in, Obama wanted to do a health care because during that time, people did not have health care. If you didn't work for someone who could provide health care, then you just did not have health care. And I'm not sure which president said, if you don't have health care insurance, then they start charging us, remember, through our
That was
tax.
Obama.
It was Obama, okay. So all of that was created. So Obamacare created a free for all for people to invent health insurances to provide health care insurance. Under the auspices, we are decreasing the overall cost of health care for the United States. But what it did was it provided, giving people a credit card to say you have health care, but it gives you a $200 what is it? Limit.
Okay.
Or a $50 limit.
Mm-hmm.
And that depends on what. So if you wanted a higher limit or better, then it costs more. So that's when the regime changed, and then they said, well, we'll pay for a higher limit. We'll pay the subsidies.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though your insurance costs, say, $600 for one person, if you had, so let's go back. So remember before, if you had diabetes, high blood pressure, anything, insurance companies could say, no, we're not giving you insurance.
Pre-existing conditions.
Pre-existing conditions. So they allowed that to be unlawful and said, well, you have to take them. And so the insurance companies say, okay, well, if you do that, we'll provide it, but we're going to charge them. So now,
that's where, okay.
Yeah, if you have
higher rates came in.
That's where the higher rates came in. Because see, it's all about, insurance companies are to make money. They're not here for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about money. So if I'm going to give insurance to your people, then I'm going to go up on the cost. So the regime changed and said, okay, let's give them a subsidy. So if it's for one person, it's $600 a month. In some families, it's like over $1,000 and something. Nobody can afford insurance like that. So, and if you didn't have insurance, you got dinged when you filed your taxes. Mm-hmm. So then what they decided to give, I think it was Trump that came in and gave us the subsidy.
And so that's very interesting.
And the subsidy depends on what your income is. Mm-hmm. And so that's how much they pay towards your insurance. So instead of paying $600, if you got a subsidy, you may only pay $100. But if the more you made, you paid a little bit more, but you never paid the $600 for one person. Right. So he put a deadline on that, which in December, the 2025, that subsidy goes away. And so that's why the Democrats were like, wait, hold up. The people can't afford this. It's even higher than what it was.
So what are we going to do?
And so he says that, I have another plan. But the thing is, we've been hearing about that for 10 years?
The concept. We've been hearing about the concept of the plan.
The concept. And it's in the workings. But, we're talking a month away. You hadn't provided it since. Okay. So this is why the Democrats said, no, if people cannot afford health insurance, they're going to die.
Yeah.
Because if the subsidies also help the hospitals stay open. So if you go to the hospital and you don't have any insurance, the government subsidizes that. Mm-hmm. So now if there are no more subsidies, if somebody goes to the hospital, they can't afford to see you if you have no insurance. They're going to tell you got to pay that $1,000 up front before we even see you.
I was told
they can't pay their employees.
I was reading somewhere that prior to Ronald Reagan, that insurance companies couldn't even make a profit before that. And then something happened and Ronald Reagan opened up the floodgates. So now insurance companies can make a profit off of us. And so,
And that's why during not only Ronald Reagan, but during Obama, all these fly-by-night insurances came up that you never knew the name of. Because
right.
remember, if you think about when you were younger, it was the major
The
ones.
Blue Cross, the Blue Shield, yeah,
Yeah,
Kaiser.
United Health, and it was like three or
Yeah,
four of them. That was it.
yeah.
Well, when they instituted Obamacare, then what happened
Mhm.
is that's when people were making up insurances coming in. So they can get that subsidy and people get paid. Now, physicians, this is why I pulled out. Because if you take these people, you do not get paid, despite if you've already seen them, until they've made sure they paid for 3 months. So
So
how is
you
that?
can,
So if I see a patient, I won't get paid for that first visit or any of those visits if the patient only pays their first month premium. Then I've just seen them for nothing.
so that's
They
under the
have
Affordable Care Act.
3 months before I get paid back pay.
And if they decide I'm not going to pay it anymore, you're not going to get paid.
Right? We
So,
don't get paid. We don't get paid in front. We get paid in arrears.
so we often hear about healthcare, free healthcare, universal healthcare in other countries, but there a lot of people say the downfall of universal healthcare is that the wait time of being able to be seen is substantial.
I disagree with that. If you look at Canada, they have phenomenal health care. Canadians don't come over here. A lot of Canadians don't come over here to use our health care.
That's what they say. They say, well,
Rich ones
I've
do.
seen. I've
Yeah.
seen where people say, well, when Canadians really need something urgently, they have to go to other countries to get their stuff done.
So have you tried to make a doctor's appointment? How quick can you get one?
Right. Not tomorrow, not today.
How quick can you get a surgery?
Definitely
See,
not today.
it's the lies. It's the lies. It's the lies. There are lies everywhere. The thing is, if we go socialized medicine, guess who don't make any money? We have no need for insurance companies.
Mm.
We
And
have no need for drug companies because the government would pay. It would be a tax to all citizens. And healthcare is part of a right of a tax, like we pay tax for roads in these other countries.
so,
So it behooves you to be healthy, or your taxes will go up.
so as a doctor, that's funny that you say that because I've not heard physicians say that universal health care is great. I've heard people saying, well, it wouldn't be good for doctors because the doctors are limited on how much they get paid. But if we're paying taxes for our health care, then you're going to get paid regardless. So you just have this middle person, this middleman coming in here that's collecting all this money. And because they have the money to lobby to the government, that's the reason why they stay in business. And that's the reason why we're in the position that we're in. I don't know if you guys know, but back when the New Deal happened and they proposed universal health care for Americans. Now, we're the only first world country that does not have a universal health care program. We're the only country in the world, a first world country that doesn't have free health care. But when they proposed it to the American people, the only reason why they voted it down is because Black people would get it too. It goes back to you could take the lowest white man and convince him that he's better than the best color man. He won't even know you're picking his pockets. He will vote against his own best interests if he thinks some Black people are going to get access to it too. And the powers have been very masterful at convincing them that it's for their own best interests because the people who are paying them to keep the division up. So it's funny how all of this stuff is happening. And when you go back to it, you got to follow the money. It all goes back to the money. People are out here dying and nobody
And
cares.
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
If they do not do, I mean, think about it. Mortgage rates are going up, food are going up, everything is going up.
Inflation.
So if you get a cough, how likely you're going to go to the doctor or even the ER and they're going to ask you, you got to first give me Well, let's go even to the premium because you realize there's a premium and then you still pay a copay.
Right.
So you're going to pay $800 a month and then they're going to ask you for a $60 copay. And you can barely pay the premiums monthly.
Right.
But you got all this other stuff going up. So how many people are actually going to pay their health insurance when they got all this other stuff to
The
pay?
$2,000 health insurance that's going up for a lot
You
of
got
people.
kids and all that. They're not. Because people don't make that type of money.
Right.
The average person does not make that type of money. And
Right.
the sad part about it, the states that rely on it the most are the poor
The red
states.
states. The red states. The ones who are voting against this. The ones that are telling people to get off their asses.
Yeah, Mississippi, they
If you can convince the lowest white man that he's better than the best color man, he won't even know you picking his pockets. It's the powers, it's the game.
it's
For the powers that be, it's not even about race, it's about money. It's about
about the green.
the green, but what they've been masterful at is convincing everybody else that it's about the race. Don't
Right.
keeping us divided so that we fight amongst ourselves so they continue to bankroll and get money and continue voting against our own best interests. And really, it's not us, it's the people who hate us because America is so sick with racism. So, Dr. Jones.
So yeah, so that's the thing. I can tell you the solution. So there are several doctors like myself who have pulled out. We don't take insurance anymore. We pulled out of insurances because this is just a racket. The system is broken, and we went into medicine to help people. So they're called direct primary care. There are specialists that do it. There are internal medicine, family medicine. There are doctors. There are mid-levels. If you go on DPC Alliance, you can find a doctor that's near you. And what you do is you pay a monthly cost, $100, $125 a month, and you will have health care. They do not charge copays. And a lot of the practices, they get the labs discounted because even lab costs, you can get a full panel for less than $100. But if you use your insurance, it's hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, it's like $800 or something like that. So you mean to tell me we can thwart the insurance system?
Yes,
We can
you
go around it and we could go directly to, if more people knew about this, we can actually bankrupt the insurance companies. So
I
where do
don't
they
know
go?
if they really do it because there are not a whole lot of doctors that have pulled out. The DPC doctors are here compared to everybody that works.
Yeah, but if there was a
But
need,
if people shift,
yeah, if there was a need, what's the website?
it's DPC Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Or just Google direct primary care and put your area. You should be able to find a list of people who are practicing direct primary care like myself.
DPCalliance.com.
Yes,
.com?
DPCalliance.com.
DPC Alliance. Wow. Okay.
And if you're in North Florida, I'm St. John's Direct Primary Care.
Yeah.
And if you want to, or you could go to askdrj.info and say, hey, can you help me find someone in my area? I'll help you. I'll send you the link and find you someone in your area.
So for people like Dominic and people like Bankroll Beauty Boss, you guys definitely need to have a consultation. And if you've had any issues or you need to know something about your health, you got to take your health serious because people really out here dropping dead. And if you don't want to drop dead, you call her. That should be your new commercial. If you don't want to drop dead, ask Dr. J. But seriously, Dr. Jones has been out here literally saving lives, and we know that's what she does every day. But beyond that, when you have physicians who don't tell you what's going on, when they're just giving you these lab results in the portal and nobody's explaining anything to you, when they casually say, "Oh, by the way, you got COPD," and they didn't run no tests, like. Talk to Dr. Jones. Go to askdrj.info so that she can give you what you need. So she can give you a actual assessment, a real assessment that can actually save your life and put you back on the road to better health. Dr. Jones, give us some final thoughts.
Final thoughts. If you have a cough that doesn't go away, it is not normal. Don't pass it over. Don't make excuses. Get it checked.
Amen. And shout out to Bankroll. She said she met me at Lisa Nichols conference some years ago. And I helped her build her Black Woman About Business company.
All right.
Amen. Well, look at God. You should probably look at joining Net 7 Collective. Go on my website and learn more about Net 7 Collective. That is a group of women from all over the country, like Dr. Jones. She's a part of Net 7, and we have women, beautiful, bomb, bold bosses, queens that are in this group of just Black women, resources of Black women. Last night I was teaching them another revenue stream to make money. And Dr. Jones already had her shit together, so she was just like, I'll have them doing the work, and she was like, here's mine. I'm like, okay, Dr. Jones, okay. So we were actually talking about her merch. Where can they find your merch?
AskDrJ.info.
Okay, so your merch is on that page too.
Yes,
It was real. I like her merch. So she got merch and everything. So I was teaching them how to have their e-commerce and set up their drop shipping last night. And Dr. Jones already had hers. So but look at possibly joining us. If you're a woman, a Black woman, or you know a Black woman who needs a supportive group of women throughout the country, go to ConstanceCarter.com and go to Net 7 Collective. And I'm happy to have a conversation with you about what we do inside our community. So I'll just say this. You need people who are going to advocate for you. You need people who are going to look out for your best interests. And nobody's going to save you. We know that there's disparities within healthcare. There's implicit biases. There's racism in every facet of American life. People often say, why do you guys always try to use the race card? Why do you guys always talk about race? Because it's a part of every single thing that we do. And medicine is one of the things that we are disproportionately not misdiagnosed or not diagnosed, or, we're diagnosed a lot later. We're dying a lot earlier. And we have to take control of our own health. A lot of us believe that what the doctors say is what is God. The doctor say it, I believe it, no second guessing. But at least with Dr. Jones, you have an opportunity to sit down with a professional who really, really, really cares. So go to askdrj.info. Did you figure out what the coupon code was?
Yes, the coupon is.
Thank God.
Oh, Lord.
You're slacking on your Mac and man. You're slacking on your Mac.
I'm mad it up. It's 25%.
Okay, what's the coupon code, Dr. Jones?
I wrote it down too. Oh, COMP25.
COMP25. So if you would like a consultation with Dr. Jones, go to COMP25. COMP25 and get your consultation. Comp 25. That's the coupon code.
Comp 25 is the code.
Comp 25 is the coupon code. Yes. So please go to AskDrJ.info and put in your coupon code. But mostly important, whether you pay full price, I paid full price because my health is that important to me. It's an investment. So whether you pay full price or you get that 25% discount, do it. Just do it. All right, y'all. Thank you. We will see you next week, Dr. Jones. As always, I thought we was going to talk about that mouth cancer today, but you sent me some other shit. What happened? You didn't want to talk about oral cancer from HPV? What happened? We'll see you next week, Dr. Jones. Love you.
Okay,
we'll see y'all. All right.